So the Imani Winds program this summer at Caramoor is called A Woman's Perspective, Women Composers. Wow, it's been a long and winding road with that, right?
Indeed, indeed.
Of this like championing women composers, which I wish we could just say playing music by a
Right.
woman. I mean, I think the US have a slightly different perspective because the group was founded by a female composer.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. In many ways, our Valerie Coleman and her music as the founding flutist and such an incredible composer contributing from day one. Yes, we have always sort of had that platform. We got really spoiled to be honest. We were
Mhm.
spoiled with her music representing us and just being of such a high caliber for all of those years that, to tell you the truth, in many ways, we didn't seek out other women composers as much as we should have, I'll admit,
Mm.
because her music was just took up so much space in the room in the best of ways.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Valerie's Afro-Cuban Concerto. It's bringing together so many diverse influences and sounds and voices.
It's one of our oldest pieces in the repertoire. She composed it for us in 2001 or two, I believe. And so it's been a part of our DNA for a long time. Each movement features Cuban rhythms, melodies, Latin-based melodies and rhythms. And so we have a traditional clave with the first movement. We kind of have a habanera with the vocalese second movement, and a rumba with the third movement that just cooks. It just kind of drives it straight to the end of the entire works. And very virtuosic, as is all her music, and fun to listen to. So it's the complete package.
And is chair dancing allowed for the audience?
Unequivocally. Are you kidding? Right. At any point in time, get on up, do your thing.
Talk to me a little bit about this piece by Nathalie Joachim, who's a brilliant Haitian American composer, and she's written a piece called Scene. And I was reading about it a bit. It's inspired by a visual artist and his use of found objects.
So she interviewed all of us and just asked, what are some objects? What are some things that are near to you or that you can have a memory of? And each of us came up with something. And myself specifically, I happened to be in Pittsburgh, which is my hometown, and I was helping my mom clean out my childhood home, which she was selling. And so, as you might imagine, there was literally 40 years worth of not only our stuff, but everybody else's stuff that somehow found its way to our big old house. And so that particular movement is called This Old House. And just one other movement that I think is really special. Mark, our clarinetist, talked about his young family. He has a 3-year-old now, and so his daughter was just a baby then. So she called his movement Empty Space because he hasn't filled it up yet with items or memories or things to pinpoint it. So each of the movements have these little special stories to them.
I love that, and I love the connection or the contrast between your mom's old house and this young family about to, create those 40 years of objects and
Exactly.
memories and things. That's beautiful. And I think that's the thing, when we play music by living composers, new works, that's the common thread, right? We can all look back at the pieces that we love from from centuries past. And well, from speaking for myself, what I love most about them sometimes is the story behind the
Right.
music, like the inspiration.
No, absolutely. I mean, we don't think about our revered big composers of the classical era, of the romantic era, as being human beings. Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
we forget that they were men and women and had their own lives they were living, and their own desires and passions, and people that would come in and out of their lives.
Right. No, it's almost like with these old familiar pieces of music, you have to push yourself to listen past the notes because you know the notes. You're waiting for the notes. We love the notes. Right. And with a
Right.
new piece like this, you are processing those notes through a new experience and a new information. Well, lots of beautiful stories. This sounds like a really personal and intimate program in a lot of ways. And I think that the Caramoor audience has a lot to look forward to.